how anybody is wearing a suit in this room, because after all that dancing, the temperature has risen big time. Congratulations. Feel free to take your jacket off if you want. So the Youth Policy Toolbox, this is something which at ESCAP, we had Sabina from ESCAP, we had Hongju also from ESCAP. I'm the youth focal point in ESCAP, working on youth projects. And this is a project we've had running for a number of years. It's on youth policy. Now, youth policy is something very important. It mainly involves government officials, these are the people who write the policies, but it's important to involve young people, to give them the opportunity to express themselves, because young people's needs are best known by young people themselves. You yourselves would know what you need, what you want, more than the policymaker. And as a consequence, we have this toolbox. And in this toolbox, there are a number of good practices. There are a number of videos. Hakim is actually going to upload a lot of videos from this event onto the Toolbox website. The website is there. If we have a click, or should I click or somebody clicking? Can you click? One click, please. This is part of another project. We used to work on a project in the Philippines, in Sri Lanka, in, trying to remember the countries now, in Mongolia, and I think those are the main countries. We also had some work in Pakistan. Now this demographic dividend with a gender dimension project, this is actually in the two most youthful countries of Asia and the Pacific. You heard about aging earlier. Sabina said Japan is one of these countries with a large aging situation, many older people. Young people, what are the youngest countries in Asia and the Pacific? In Africa, many young countries, but in Asia and the Pacific, the general trend is for aging. Anybody, can you suggest a country with a youthful population? Any ideas? Just shout it out. We don't need the mic.
India?
India is actually not that youthful. There's a youth bulge, but it's moved into like the 10, 15 age group, 20 age group. The really youthful, it's already beyond that really youthful stage with high, because the birth rates come down a lot. So these are countries still with high birth rates. Any other suggestions? Philippines in Southeast Asia is definitely the most youthful country. But still there are several other countries with much higher birth rates. Anybody? Bhutan quite high? Azerbaijan is, yeah, that's in Central Asia. Thailand is, Indonesia we've got Luang Cukup, yeah? They have only 2 children in the government policy, yeah? It's only 2 children. So there are countries though with 5 children per mother. Bangladesh has brought down the fertility dramatically. Any other one? Nepal is the 2nd or 3rd youngest country in South and Southwest Asia. Afghanistan is the country probably with the highest birth rate. Other countries are Timor-Leste and countries in the Pacific, especially Papua New Guinea. So these have very large youthful populations, and they are going to face big challenges. What are some of the biggest challenges young people face? 2 of the SDGs cover this. Yeah, unemployment, so SDG 8 is on employment, so issues related to employment. Another one? Education, very good, SDG 4. But another one is actually SDG 3 on health. Because a lot of this demographic dividend, a lot of it is dependent on sex. Now, we should be very careful with the way we use the word sex. Sex, when you look at gender, it's a much more fluid thing. But sex is male or female. But sex is also procreation, producing more children. One of the biggest issues keeping these populations from controlling growth is a lack of contraception. Yeah? So contraceptive presence and family planning is very weak in some of these countries. So unwanted contraception is very high. People would like to use contraception, but they do not have access to services. So part of this project is doing that, is trying to get governments to develop more inclusive policies which cater to the needs of young people. And if we have another click, it's a project, as I mentioned or indicated. Click, click, please. Click, 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 click. It's in Africa and Asia and the Pacific, because in Africa, many countries with very high fertility, high birth rates, many countries. Another click, please. So we're using knowledge products, such as the Youth Policy Toolbox, and we'll have a dashboard with lots of indicators. Somebody mentioned about data earlier. We need data. And another click gives us, these are the SDGs. So 3 is on, just for your, anybody? 3? SDG 3 is on. Very well, you know more than me. I just said health. You just said the whole. Excellent. Okay, SDG 4. SDG 5. Gender equality. SDG 10. 10? Yeah. 10? Yeah. For me, you see, 10 is one of the most important, if not the most. Inequality is just one of the biggest obstacles to progress. And 8 on employment and economic growth. Another click, please. So this is the Youth Policy Toolbox. You see a whole series. You've got e-learning, you've got Meet the Youth, you've got the good practices. This is where we're working on, and we've had a good practice on APYE. Hakim again has produced some good practices. We would encourage you, if you want to submit good practices, you can submit them to us. We will credit you, so you will have your name to it. You can always cite that as a contribution to the UN. And one more click. This is just an indication of the good practices we have in Indonesia, Republic of Korea, Japan, as you see, Bangladesh, and then below there are other ones, I think, in Papua New Guinea, Timor-Leste, and the Philippines, and Sri Lanka, and other countries. Now, do we have our 4th panelist yet? Is he still missing in action? Who is aware of the 4th panel? This is all I'm going to say about the Youth Policy Toolbox, but we will hopefully have interviews on youth policy. Hakim will be asking you questions on the significance of youth policy.